for you to go out of your way to comment on somebody else's body, somebody else's choices in life, you are seeking a power trip. You are seeking to, in the hierarchy, put yourself above them. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kristen. I feel like we as a society, we have a lot of changing and a lot of growing up to do. I get more negative, derogatory, and just to be honest with you, unnecessary comments from straight, heterosexual women than any other group. Society has raised us to be pitted against each other. We are competing for the same subset of men, and therefore I need to tear you down to lift myself up in the eyes of that person, or tear you down so that you step back and you are no longer competition for me. But all we're doing is bringing down women as a whole. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm of the mindset that what is for me is for me. And I don't want somebody who can be interested in me and then turn around and be interested in this other woman just because she was louder. I don't want friendships like that either. As a society, women are considered a minority, okay? We already are looked down upon. Middle-aged white men, a lot of them, look down upon us. This isn't something that's exclusive to white men, okay? Every race, every ethnicity has a subset of men who look down upon women. Women, we already are at a disadvantage. When you do that, you feed into the societal stereotype that women are petty, women are overly emotional, women don't know how to set aside their emotions to conduct themselves accordingly. Women are bad at business as a result of that. You make us look bad. It doesn't make you look poised. To be honest with you, it actually challenges your character, your morals, and your ethics. Shh. Okay, had to take a quick intermission to calm her down. When I look at other women, I'm not looking at them and judging them. I'm not looking at them and saying, oh, she shouldn't be wearing that, or she shouldn't be eating that, or why isn't she up and moving around with her kids? Why is she sitting down on the bench? I don't do that because I'm not here to judge anybody else. And tearing a minority group down even more does nothing to help them. And it also makes me look bad in the eyes of people with morals and values. I am a Christian, but I'm a Christian who, I have a trans child. My second child is transgender. And to this day, I wholly and fully support him because I am not the type of person who is going to go around and tell people what they should and shouldn't do when it comes to their own body. And maybe that's the difference between me and other women. I don't have this visual ideal in my head that other people need to meet the standard of. I am not here to impose my beliefs, my religion, nor my personal standards on other people. I also am somebody who has invisible illness. When COVID came around and they had high-risk Tuesdays at Target, at least the Target near me, where they opened, I think it was like 1 or 2 hours for only high-risk individuals. The girl at the front door, when I was walking in, she said, hey, just so you know, this is a time only for high-risk individuals. I can't stop you from going in, but it is meant to be for those who are high risk. I literally had to stop, pull my shirt a little to the side to show her the scar and say, I have a pacemaker, a dual lead pacemaker. I'm a heart patient. I have autoimmune and a bunch of other things as well. So I do fall into the high risk category. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I guess maybe because I have been through so much in life, I don't judge other people because I don't know what they have walked through in life. You don't know if they have heart problems. They could have just been diagnosed with cancer and they haven't started treatment yet. You really don't know. And for anybody to come around and to make comments about somebody, how they look, their size, their shape, what they should and shouldn't wear, etc., I will never understand those people. Number one, because 99% of the time, nobody asked your opinion. That person didn't ask you, well, what do you think? How does this look on me? Does this flatter me? They weren't asking those questions. But yet you felt the need to impose your negative opinion on them. What is the intent behind those negative opinions? What is the point of commenting something or stating something to an individual that tears them down? There's constructive criticism, which I am all for, but there's also just intentional harm. And some women walk with this hoity-toity attitude thinking, well, I'm just giving them some constructive feedback. You are not their boss. You are not somebody that they came to asking for advice. You are somebody who wants to feel important. You are somebody who consciously or subconsciously, you are seeking a power trip. Let that one sink in, okay? For you to go out of your way to comment on somebody else's body, somebody else's choices in life, you are seeking a power trip. You are seeking to, in the hierarchy, put yourself above them. For that to be the largest subset of people commenting on my body, that just speaks to the damage that so many women in society are carrying around today. You are so damaged and so broken that you feel the need to break other women in some way. You feel the need to tear them down to try to make yourself feel better. And if you are able to make yourself feel better, it's for a millisecond. It is so temporary that the hurt and harm that you are causing should not be worth that millisecond of feeling slightly better about yourself. And you also have to know and understand that when you're doing that, in the eyes of anybody around you who is visibly seeing that, witnessing that, you don't look better. In fact, you often look worse than the very person that you are trying to tear down. He who is without sin, cast the first stone. I'm not without sin. I'm not out here trying to cast the first stone. I am out here trying to lift up women. And that's all that I want my daughters to witness and to see, is me helping to lift up other women. That is one of the biggest reasons why I came back to this channel. We are our own worst critic. Anything that you have decided to go out there and to comment or to say to somebody, guarantee you they've said way worse to themselves. And that's a problem. It's something where you inadvertently may validate some of the things that they've told themselves. And if somebody hasn't done the work internally, if they don't have a good relationship with a higher power, if they aren't in a loving relationship, you may be the one person who literally takes them to the depths of darkness. You may be the one person who literally pushes them over the edge and causes them to break and to believe every single thing that they have told themselves in error. Do you really want to be that person? If you do, we can't be friends. I want women to know themselves. I want them to take the time to reflect on their strengths and their weaknesses. Because knowing where your weaknesses lie gives you a trajectory as far as what you can improve on, how you can evolve, and hopefully in the next season of your life be even better. And your strengths are what you need to capitalize on. Your strengths are what you need to hold tight to and know and understand that those are things that are valuable. Every single person on this earth has something of value. You hold something of value to somebody else. And that's what allows someone to fall in love with you. Because you have all of these beautiful strengths. You have some flaws too. And you know what? There's also a lot of beauty in your flaws. I have lipedema. So I carry my weight in different ways. So I am very bottom heavy. My legs, my calves, they swell a lot. I will always carry weight in my saddlebags, in my booty, in my upper arms. And what they don't tell you is it's actually painful. I bruise very easily. So if you were to press on my skin a little bit too hard, not only would it be painful, but it would leave a bruise. I also have small fiber neuropathy. They did 3 different punch biopsies on my legs and confirmed that I have small fiber neuropathy, which means that on top of the lipedema, I have nerve pain. My legs are more sensitive than the average person. Whenever they go to draw blood, and having the medical conditions that I do, I get blood drawn a lot. Tying the band around my arm to draw my blood that's more painful than the needle to me, because they do it so tightly and it pinches and it's just incredibly painful. And it's something where I think because I deal with so much that the person on the outside looking at me just wouldn't see. I'm not looking to tear somebody down because I don't know their journey. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what they're experiencing. And it is not my place to judge. It's just not. I want women who are in my same boat. Even if they're not in my same boat, I want women, period, to feel confident. There's a difference between being confident and being arrogant. There's a difference between pride and ego. On this channel, I want you to be able to come here and not only to see a woman of a different size than maybe you're used to seeing, so there is some representation and maybe a little bit of relatability, but more than anything, I want you to see my confidence. I want you to hear my story, and I want you to be able to do the work to get yourself to that place if you aren't already. And maybe just let me be your cheerleader if you are there already, okay? I want you to keep going. I don't want you to tear yourself apart when you look in the mirror. I don't want you to allow other women, other men, other people, period. I don't want you to allow them to ruin your day. There is nothing that anybody else should be able to say that will ruin your day, that will change how you see yourself, or that will destroy all the progress that you have made in life. If you give anyone that much power, it should only be your higher being that you worship. That's it. And part of the problem is that we give that power to our loved ones. We've given that power to our family, to our blood relatives, to our spouses who then become ex-spouses, to boyfriends who become ex-boyfriends, girlfriends who become ex-girlfriends. We give that power to certain people trusting that they will never abuse it. But unfortunately they do. And they can do some massive damage. I have learned that nobody should hold that power aside from me and God. Nobody should be able to say something to me that so destroys me that I am at the bottom of the rubble trying to dig my way out. I've been there, and it's a hard journey to get back out of it. It is something where if you know who you are, if you know your strengths and your weaknesses, if you understand your trauma, if you understand your triggers, if you know yourself and you work to get yourself to the place where you love yourself, those have to go hand in hand. You have to not only know yourself, to know your goods and your bads, your pros and your cons, but to also love yourself despite the things that you don't like about yourself. If you reach that place, that means that nobody can come along and destroy it. You can sit here and you can tell me that I am the worst mom in the world. And I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, you are entitled to that opinion. You can feel however you want to feel about me. You can say whatever it is that you want to say about me. But I know me. I know my story. I know that I am not the greatest mom in the world. But I also know that I've done everything that I possibly can to try to be. I know those things about myself. So you can sit here and you can tear me down or attempt to tear me down in every way, shape, and form with your words. And they're going to end up just being words that you just threw out into the wind. They're not going to change who I am. They're not going to change what I know about myself. I focus on what matters. And I guess maybe that's the point of it all, is that for all of these heterosexual women out here scrolling on social media, leaving unnecessary comments about how other people look, and even to you men, okay? I don't care what your background is, what your ethnicity is, what your story is. If you are somebody who is out there scrolling on social media and you feel so bad about yourself that you have to stop and use the energy and the effort that it takes to leave a nasty comment, you need to ban yourself from social media, number one. You need to take some time. You need to reflect, maybe even get in therapy, and you need to really assess who you are. I have morals and values and ethics that I consider to be high, and there are standards that I don't like to let myself fall below. And if I do fall below them, guess what, people? I've done the work. I have the awareness to where I already recognize it. Before you could even leave that comment, before you could even say anything, I already know. I'm already pointing out that flaw in my head. But what I've learned over the years is that there's a difference between pointing out the flaw versus actually allowing myself to get lost to the flaw. You can recognize that there are things about yourself that you don't like, and you can still love yourself. Just because you love yourself doesn't mean that you have the ideal body or what you consider to be the ideal body. It doesn't mean that there aren't things that you wish that you could change. It just means that you are not going to be mean to yourself on purpose for those reasons, for those very things that you don't like. And that's what I did in the past. So many years ago, I tore myself down, up, down, and all around because of all of these things that I hated about myself. Some of them I could change, some of them I couldn't. I will never be a small woman, in part because of my lipedema. I will never have skinny, beautiful legs. My legs have always been covered in bruises and marks and things that I have no clue where they even came from. I have the cottage cheese fat on them, as they like to say. In years past, I was so self-conscious about them that I wouldn't even wear shorts. And I lived in Orlando at the time, okay? I would sweat profusely, okay? If you have ever been in the middle of August, you know the air is thick, okay? It is thick. It is something where you inhale just once, you've inhaled a gallon of water and a half ton of bugs, okay? It is brutal in summer in Central Florida, because you're not on the coast where you get the occasional sea breeze. No, you are just sitting in the swamp, okay? And it is miserable. But I hated my legs and the way that they looked so much that I wouldn't even wear shorts to allow myself to be cooler. It's terrible. I have heart conditions, medical conditions that are exacerbated in the heat. But I was so uncomfortable, and I hated my arms and my legs and the way that they looked and how they were so much that I covered them up. I hated them, and a lot of that hate was driven, honestly, by the things that my family said to me growing up. It was exacerbated by the fear that a Karen would come along and say something with my child right there. That's not the way that anybody should live. That's not the way that anybody should exist in this world. It's hard enough already. There's no need to tear anybody else down. There's no need to leave a comment or your opinion on how somebody looks. Saying you like an outfit or dislike an outfit is different than saying, I don't like that on you. There's a different connotation. And what I hope throughout the course of my time with this channel and these videos that I post, I genuinely do hope that you learn something, you gain something from them, and you stop the bad habits, and you start trying to raise other people up as you try to lift yourself up too. We all can be equals here. There's so much discourse in the world already. Nobody needs to add to it. We all actually collectively as a group need to start fighting against it. We need to start respecting other people and the differences between us way more. If we want our children to actually grow up in an environment that doesn't destroy them by the time they're 18, we need to be the change that we want to see. Hopefully you got something from this video. I know it's a little long. Hopefully, if you haven't done the work, you will stop and finally start doing it. It's scary, it's hard. You are going to realize even more things about yourself than you did on the surface. And some of them are going to be hard to recognize, to see, and to admit. But if you ever want to be the person that you idealize in your head, and I'm not talking about how you look physically, but if you ever want to be the person that you idealize in your head, the person that you know you were called or made to be, then you have to do the work. And if you are one of those people who is going around leaving bad comments, who is explosive in some capacity, if you are a person who is contributing more negativity to the world than it already has in it, you really need to take a step back. Hopefully this channel can be a little ray of sunshine in a world of darkness. That is my hope and my goal. Thank you so much to all of you for being here, for listening to my little rants, my little corner of the world. I will see you in the next one.